A truth held quietly by the Church for nearly 2,000 years would only be declared, in solemn and infallible words, in the year 1950. Today, August 15, the Church celebrates the Assumption of Mary, the greatest Marian solemnity on the entire Catholic calendar. It proclaims that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was taken up body and soul into heaven at the end of her earthly life, spared the corruption that comes for every other human body. This wasn't a sudden invention. Belief in Mary's Assumption runs through the meditations of saints and the liturgical texts of the earliest centuries of Christianity, with celebrations already recorded in Jerusalem as far back as the 5th century, under the tender name, Memory of Mary. By around the 7th century, Rome had formalized the feast, calling it at first the Nativity of Saint Mary, until, by the 8th century, it finally received the name it carries to this day, the Assumption. And yet, despite standing at the heart of the Church's faith across nearly its entire history, this truth was only solemnly proclaimed as an infallible dogma on November 1, 1950, when Pope Pius XII, through the Apostolic Constitution Munificentissimus Deus, gave it the Church's fullest and most definitive voice. Even then, Pius XII left one question deliberately open, whether Mary actually died before being assumed into glory, or was taken up without ever tasting physical death. Because the 15th of August doesn't always fall on a Sunday, it remains a holy day of obligation for Catholics across most of the world, and a national public holiday in countries with deep Catholic roots, including Italy, Spain, Portugal, and much of Latin America. Mary is the patroness of the whole Church, and her Assumption teaches every one of us that the body we carry through this life, offered to God as she offered hers, is destined not for the grave, but for glory. On this same day of the year, but in a very different century, a boy barely old enough to be trusted with anything would be trusted with the most sacred thing the Church had. This is Saint Tarcisius, young Roman acolyte of the 3rd century, martyred during Emperor Valerian's persecution of Christians, sometime between the years 257 and 258. According to tradition preserved in a poetic inscription written by Pope Damasus I in the 4th century, Tarcisius assisted Pope Sixtus II in the Eucharistic celebrations held in secret, hidden from Roman eyes in the catacombs. During that season of fierce persecution, he was given a mission few adults could have carried out without drawing suspicion, to carry the consecrated Eucharist, concealed beneath his own clothing, out of those hidden catacomb liturgies to Christian prisoners condemned to death, who awaited it as their final sacrament before execution. He was chosen precisely because his young, innocent face raised no alarm among Roman guards the way a grown cleric's would have. But on the road, a group of boys grew curious about what he held so tightly against his chest. When Tarcisius flatly refused to show them or hand it over, their curiosity turned violent, and they beat him without mercy on the Appian Way, just outside Rome. He never surrendered what he was protecting. When a Christian soldier finally found him, gravely wounded, the Eucharist remained intact and hidden beneath his clothes, preserved until his very last breath. Tarcisius has been venerated ever since as patron saint of altar servers and of children preparing for their first communion, his story carried further into popular memory by the 19th century historical novel Fabiola, written by the English Cardinal Nicholas Wiseman. And with that, we close today's journey through the 15th of August. If Mary's Assumption or young Tarcisius's silent courage touched your heart, follow this channel, Saint of the Day, right here. Like this video, and leave a comment asking for their intercession for someone you love. And above all, share this video with someone who needs to hear it today, because every like, comment, and share like that is truly a small act of evangelization, carrying the faith a little further than it was a moment ago. Remember, the full prayer to Our Lady and to Saint Tarcisius is waiting for you in the video description.